Good morning, Jill.
Hey, good morning, Leanne. How are you on this hump day?
I'm well, thank you. I've been up early driving my husband down to the boat to do some more boat jobs.
Oh, beautiful.
I get to be a student today, so that's awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Let's see who's online this morning. Haven't woken anybody up yet, or not. Everyone's only 8:13, so would you like to talk about your class a little bit before
Sure.
give everyone a little bit of time to get online?
Yeah. So today's class is, of course, Yin. So I actually had a bit of a little chuckle to myself because I thought, even though we're stuck in one place sort of thing, and especially for you guys out there that are used to traveling, I thought we'd travel around the body today. So I'm going to give you a little taste of like upper body, lower body, and so a juicy twist at the end that will really sort of tone our spine. So all of these, you can do it anytime you like, sort of thing like that. It's really important that you have something like a block. And Leanne, you've got a great example of
a book.
of how you can actually, if you haven't got one of these, a really big fat book with the hardcover, perfect. We will use something like a bolster today, but again, remember, if you haven't got a bolster, rolled up blanket, or even two blocks, or anything like that, because we're going to lay our arms over them to really open up through the body and that sort of thing. So grab your tools, whatever they are, they'll do.
All right. I'm going to say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Anne. Good morning, Lisa. Lovely to have you here this morning. I noticed Gay's checked in. Be wonderful to have you practicing, Gay, if you're still there. All right, I will log off now. I'll mute myself and allow Jill to start practicing shortly. When you want to just give everyone just another minute.
Yeah, sure. So yogis, while you're setting yourself up, we're going to do a short meditation. So like, seriously, you don't have to sit cross-legged or anything like that. I have a few people in my class that prefer one leg tucked, one leg out. Some prefer to lay back and sort of prop themselves on a wall. Many times, and this is my trick, but I'll just do it and then I'll come off it because I think I chopped my head off. I pop a block under it and sit like this. This is my go-to position for when I'm doing a long meditation, because I find it really challenging to sit cross-legged for maybe 20 minutes or something like that. So, never be afraid to experiment with your poses. So if you're new to Yin today, welcome. So Yin, to me, I always say it flips your yoga practice on its head, because I'm going to ask you to just let your muscular body melt. And so we dig deep. We dig deep into Yin, into what we call the cold tissues. The cold tissues are the fascia, tendons, ligaments, and bones. They're called cold tissues because when the body is seeing inside the live body, they're white tissues. There is minimal blood supply to them and that sort of thing. So they respond differently to our muscular body. So hence we have to practice differently to what we would if we're trying to work with this cold tissue. I'm going to talk about fascia as we go through our practice. Yin is also a very internal practice. You get to sit with yourself, you get to sit with the sensations and feelings, and sometimes that's great and other times it's really icky, but it's really worth it. You're worth it, actually. So settle yourself in. We're going to do a breath meditation here, which I really like to get you to land on the mat. And then we'll come into our practice. So find a position that really suits you today. It can be anything, it can be different to anything else. And then maybe roll those shoulders, let them settle down. Let yourself sink into this position. Many times we try and hold ourselves up and it's a really tense pose, but let yourself sink in and just sort of land. And then gently close your eyes. So this beautiful practice of just closing the eyes starts to shut off this external world. And we start making this connection within. So we're going to use 3 deep breaths here just to really land within our body. So make any adjustments that you need to really land and settle in. And now follow my guidance as we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. Are you ready? Let's inhale together. Hold the breath, closing off the throat. And now when prompted by your inner urgings of the body, release the breath slow and steady. And then breathe normally. And now second breath, let's inhale together. Hold the breath, closing off the throat. Allow tension to build, holding that a little bit longer, but without struggle. And when prompted, release fully, expelling from the body whatever it no longer needs. Deep-seated tensions leaving your body with the breath. Breathe normally. And now, let's inhale our third breath together. Breathe deeply, holding the breath in, closing off the throat, holding even longer now, but without strain. And when prompted, release the breath, breathing it all out, letting it all go until there is nothing left. Until you are completely empty and open. Breathe normally. And now simply allow the breath to rise and fall in its own rhythm. The breath becoming more progressively quieter and more still. So through the practice today, let's keep this internal connection with ourselves through the breath, through awareness. Gently open your eyes. Welcome back, yogis. So our first pose. This is what I did in my very first class, but if you weren't here, that's okay. It's called toe tuck Caesar. Now, it works with all the meridians of the lower body. It can be a little bit icky, but hang in there. I've got some choices for you. Now, I'm going to come to the side, but you are more than welcome to face me because I want you to see how it looks. You're going to come on your knees. And a lot of the times, because we wear shoes so much, not you girls or guys there that go on boats a lot with bare feet, but we certainly do. I want you to grab your toes and really separate them. Really separate. Beautiful. Now, the pure pose. Oops, I'm cutting off my head. I'm going to have to sort of come back a bit here. The pure pose is to just sit back here like this, but that can be really challenging. So you've got some options. If you've got a blanket or bolster, you can pop it under your knee here and just sit like this. If you have any knee problems where it really is uncomfortable to sit with the knees like that, you can choose to pop a blanket in between the thighs and the calf muscles. And you can do this, and you can even do this one up here. Now, or if that's so super painful that you're thinking there is no way I can hold this, because we're going to hold this for 2 minutes, you can do this. You can be on your hands and knees, and you can just lean back into this. Try not to put too much weight on the upper body, and you just lean back and really try and open these toes. Now, I'm going to time us, so that's my job. I just want you to sink back and find your shape. So let's have a go. Toe tuck Caesar. We're going to hold this for 2 minutes. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of music on because, you know, sometimes this can get a little challenging and the music sort of can take me away on a journey. So you find where you want to be with this pose. I've been doing a bit more running than normal, trying to do my own thing. You know, I've got really tight feet at the moment. So I'm going to come up on the bolster. So once we come into this pose, there's some stillness. So settle yourself into this pose with stillness. And I'm going to come and talk to you through this. And I'm just going to back that up a bit. So, you know, a lot of the times when something's really challenging, we let the shoulders shrug up. So this is where we don't want this muscular body to do anything. We're actually stretching through these toes. So whether you've got a bolster or anything, or you're sitting back on your feet, let your shoulders relax. Let your belly relax. Try not to hold anything here. Let the jaw relax. And soften into the face. Use your breath. Use your breath. We have 1 more minute to go. Breathe. Now, the really crazy thing about this, you know, I first feel this in my feet when I sit with this pose. Then the sensation travels. I have a fairly tight right hip, and the sensation comes up into that hip. You know, so toe tuck Caesar is addressing the 6 major meridians of the lower body, but it's also the fascia on our feet is connected completely through our body. And so, you know, it's actually opening up fascia through the whole chain of your body. It's beautiful. Let yourself relax into this. Don't let those shoulders come up. You know, normally when I'm in a class, I'm just laying my hands gently on people's shoulders because I see this. So let it go. Let the belly relax. You're nearly there. Stay with me. Breathe. So sensation, even strong or uncomfortable sensation, is not your enemy. Okay, alrighty, you're there. So gently to come out of this, let's try and take our muscular body out. Come off if you're on anything, and then just gently come forward onto your hands and knees and let your feet just dangle in the air. And so it's a little like this. We just let them come like this. Just let the sensation. Again, we're just letting the body move energy. We're like sort of the pathway, we help it, but the body is here healing itself. And now, if you want to move a little bit, maybe wriggle, I like to tap my toes for this one. Beautiful. Oh, amen. So it's about waking up the body. We start at the toes, but now we're going to flip and we're going to come up to the upper body now. So I want you to grab your block or whatever you've got that looks like this. So this one is a beautiful one. We're going to open up the side of our body. And I love this because many times people, if they don't exercise or are active, they really move their arms up above their head. And what we've got underneath here is some beautiful lymph glands here that are around our immune system, but they have no circulation. So movement actually makes the lymph fluid move, you know, and if you're not putting your arms up or moving your body, you know, it's that sort of staticness of the body that's not helping it to be healthy or well. So we're going to lay on our side for this one, and you're going to bend your knees up 90 degrees in front, so here. Now, you're going to bring the block back, and I'll push this out of the way, where it's going to land underneath the tricep somewhere. I like it on this profile, but, you know, if it's challenging for you, you can have it on the flatter profile. So what you need to do is stack your hips here, and then you're going to come up on here. See, my hand is on my head, so I'm actually stretching through here. But my target area here, where I want you to be, is under here. under here, under here. I want you to feel this underneath your body here. So what I want you to do is to make sure that you don't roll back or you don't roll forward. So have a little look at your hips. One should be stacking on the other. Head here. I want you to feel this stretching and opening here. Let this body just sink into the floor. Now this arm can be here, it can be in front of you. Let the jaw relax. Let's start this. We're going to hold this for 2.5 minutes. So sometimes you need a little bit of fussing here with where it feels. You know, I've been practicing this for a while, so I can sort of sink into the pose pretty easily. But I want you to feel it here. I want you to feel it along the ribs, under the armpit, through here. So when we work here, we're really opening up this area here. Along the side of the body is the gallbladder meridian. Beautiful one to stimulate. And you just let yourself here. Now you might feel this more through the side of the neck, depending on where this tightness is for you. Let this belly go. And you just let yourself relax. And you might feel as you start opening up this cold tissue, it takes a little while to respond. You might feel your body sinking into the mat a little bit more and a little bit more. Just let it happen. Just let it. This cold tissue, it responds heaps more slower than muscular tissue. In Yin, we say there is a face time, and the face time is around the tissue here releasing, sort of opening. Face time for this sort of cold tissue is about 1 minute 30. So in Yin, we encourage people to at least hold poses for 2 minutes. And would you believe in some of my classes, when I put people in full saddle, we might hold 7 to 8 minutes. Yeah, I know. It's a little challenging, but the benefits of it are beautiful. So just let yourself rest into this. Try not to hang on to the pose. Just let yourself sink in. Jaw is relaxed. You stay there. I'm keeping time. So you've got about 20 more seconds here. And just be really curious about where you feel this sensation. Because when we do the other side, it's really super good to compare. And just let yourself relax into this. It's such a beautiful opening for your side body. So beautiful. Relax. And now we're going to come into rebound. So if you haven't done this with me before, what we do is we move really sneaky and slow. We just push that away and then roll onto your backs. Arms for your side, palms are up, and then just rest. So close your eyes, try not to move. And this is where the body moves energy. You know, you've opened up this fascial, this cold tissues, and you've opened it up, and now fluid hydration is moving through your body and you're moving energy. It's the most beautiful feeling. So let yourself just completely relax here and enjoy the feeling. And you might feel that this side that we've had open is longer and just feels different to the other side. So just let yourself relax. And now to come out of rebound, all you do is just a little movement, maybe fingers or toes. Some people choose to stay still. They really like the feeling of rebound, so they just want to hang on to it. And then to come out, you just start trying to move your body really efficiently. So really just bend the knees up, roll to the side and gently come up. Now, through this practice, I'm going to really encourage you to drink water. Hydration is really important. And as I said, we move fluid around the body here. It's a It's a gel-like fluid that moves through the meridian lines, but it's absolutely dependent on hydration. So please, please, please make sure you drink. I'm going to because I'm talking a lot. And let's do the other side. So you can either swing your legs over or, you know, face the other side. I'm facing you like this because I really want you to see how it feels. Set the blocker. So again, like really honor that you're going to come into the other side. We have significant differences between our sides. You know, we tend to be more dominant one side. That influences bone growth and everything. So, you know, I think it's crazy that we expect the right and the left to be exactly the same. Nearly impossible. So, you know, you might have to put the block a little bit different on this side than you did on the other. Have a play. You know, be really comfortable with actually playing with the pose and honouring that it doesn't have to look the same. You know, I have to put it here slightly different. And then, you know, wriggle in, have a little look at your hips. You know, are you stacking this one on this one? Are they stacked, or could you make a little difference? And then when you find it, let's sink into the pose and just hold. So I'm going to time us from now. Let's go. Beautiful. So we get our target area, armpit, tricep, through the rib. Now, you know, as crazy as it sounds here, I sink deeper onto this side straight away. So I feel it more through the arms. So I actually know I'm more open on my left side for a lateral movement. You know, crazy. So I think here. So, you know, sometimes I choose to put my block up a little higher on this side. You know, it's about discovering your body. You know, the little idiosyncrasies, the little different personalities that you have around your body. It's about really discovering them and really honouring them. So, you know, a lot of times I bring it up to this height. Breathe. Let yourself sink in. Now, enjoy this pose. I want to tell you a little bit more about fascia while you're holding it here. So fascia, you know, many years ago, they thought it was a waste of tissue because, of course, they could only cut up cadavers, dead bodies. So fascia is reliant on hydration. It's so important for it to move through hydration. So they were cutting up dead bodies. And so that tissue that they just thought it was useless, didn't have any use. It was only so they could start imaging real bodies as they were alive. They realized how important this fascia was. And if you're wondering what fascia looks like, if you've ever peeled the chicken skin off a chicken breast and that white tissue that when you peel off is sort of connecting them, that is really the top layer of fascia. We have different layers, but that's a top layer, and we have something similar on us. So now they've found, you know, and they're finding more and more about fascia. You've got just a little bit to go. So they find that fascia, and I have to read this a little, sorry, it feeds the cells information. You know, it goes to a cellular level. It's a water conductor. It conducts the water around the body. It's an electric conductor. You know, they're actually starting to think maybe it has as bigger influences to the nervous system. Amazing. I'm going to tell you a little bit more in a while. So let's come into rebound. So gently, remember, we're taking out this muscular body. Gently take your proper way. Let yourself come into rebound. So roll. Oh. And then surrender into rebound. Just let it do its magic. Close your eyes. Connect with your breath. And hopefully you can feel sensations like warmth or tingling. And that's you actually moving energy around your body. It's beautiful. Okay, so really enjoy. Just lay there and let it happen. Let yourself really enjoy this movement of energy. You know, it always really chuffs me when I feel that, because, you know, I'm not passive, you know, I've got so much influence over this body. Now, to come out of this rebound, again, you've got choices, maybe fingers or toes, or maybe just stillness is talking to you. So really honor, and then gently bend your knees up and roll to one side and come on up. So we've done upper here, and we're going to come to lower body. And I don't know if you did last week's class with me, but, you know, so I said now and then I put a bit of an icky or maybe challenging pose in. And again, this is something that it might be great for you and it might be challenging for someone else. So this is my challenging pose today. If you like a bit of support, because I'm going to do a sort of half squat, I would really encourage you to have a blanket that maybe you can pop your heel on. This is called skater squat. Really beautiful for the lower body. Let me show you. I'm going to come to the right side first. So I'm going to put this blanket under here and then pop my foot on. So it's going to support my heel. I'm going to come up. Take this leg to the side. Yeah. And then, you know, you can choose, because we're not asking the muscular body to do anything, I'm wanting you to just here. Now, some people prefer to have a block to hold yourself here, or even hands in here. And see how I've locked my elbows, bone on bone. Beautiful. We can only do this in our yin practice and rotation. And so coming in here, and I just let myself just come here. So our target area is through here, through the adductors, which is the liver meridian, strengthening through the ankle, the knee on this leg. So find your pose here. You might want to just completely sink in, let the head drop. That's not okay. If you're going to prop on your hands, I don't want muscles holding you here. So you see, I rotate because I know I can lock my elbows like this, and then I just let myself sink in. So get yourself into this pose and we'll start. So, just going to find my notes. Beautiful. So this is a beautiful one. It really, we're doing some compression through the groin of the right leg. Through here, we're strengthening the ankles. We're opening up through here of the adductor and the liver meridian. This is a really juicy one to do. Not fun, okay? And I absolutely admit that, sort of thing like that. If you're really stuck for some space and this leg can't find, you know, come out on the knee and come here like this. Okay, so never think that you can't actually modify your practice to actually make sure that you can actually get some benefits out of this. You know, you just have to be a little creative about how to use your space. Let your head drop. The head is because it's so heavy, the head's a really good counterweight to really just let it drop into this. Please let this belly go. No holding on. We're not asking you to engage through the core or anything like this through this class. We're just wanting you to hang off the bones and everything of your body. So enjoy this. Using your breath, and I know this one is challenging. Okay, if you have to come out, let yourself have a little rest, maybe like this. And as soon as you can, come back into it. Okay. If you ever let me do a class with you face to face, if I ever had that beautiful privilege, you'll know that I'll come and I'll challenge you and I'll go, you know, tell me how uncomfortable this is. Out of 1 to 10, you know, what is it? And I'll hear, oh, it's a 7, it's an 8. And I'll go, that's great. So stay with this. So unless you're feeling pain like someone's poking a knife into you, I want you to stay with this. You know, we get so stuck in movement. We get so stuck in certain movements, and we forget that our body needs a really holistic way of moving and grooving. You're nearly there. Guess what? You've only got 15 more seconds. Stay with me. Use your breath. You know, and we get very stuck in what we do. And so when someone comes along, like us yoga teachers, and challenges you to do something different, it's like, oh, you know, this is not really cool and I don't like it and it feels uncomfortable. And, you know, my reaction to that is, yes, that's what I want. Okay, yogis, let's come into rebound. Now, this is where we can move like, you know, our 90-year-old yayas. Oh, come out of it gently. Move slowly. Honor the work that you've done and gently come into your rebound. Come into that as gently as you can with your body, and you'll feel reactions from energy. You know, as we undo compression, and then let yourself land. Completely surrender into this rebound. You know, let yourself feel these sensations of where energy's moving, or where maybe tissue has been opened that has been a little stagnant and stuck. You know, really enjoy what you're doing here with your practice. You know, the sensations, you know, it's so interesting with sensations. It's our body talking to us. It's the conversation of the internal. And how often we don't listen. You know, and the body's just talking to us and saying, hey, this is cool, or this is actually not so cool. You know, we should be listening to this. And so this is where Yin brings us back to this conversation. Gently wriggle toes, fingers, if that feels okay. And then gently bend your knees up and roll up. Welcome back. And you know, and I know the class has usually grown at me. What we do on one side, we do on the other. So, you know, grab your drink if you need it, and let's set up the other side. So go into this side like a brand new pose. You know, you might not need the blanket under your heel this side. You know, be curious. You know, some people prefer to stay up on their toes here, and it's really strengthening for the ankles and for the feet. You know, you might be one of these people that think, yeah, this is really good. This foot doesn't have to be up, it's just where it lands. Mine lands down, that feels good for me. So, you know, you don't have to do exactly what you do on here. Or, you know, you might want to block under here. And, you know, you might want to like put it under. What works for you? I'm going to start our time now. So pop yourself into this pose. And let's go. Beautiful. So fascia. Get yourself in. Do you want to actually lock the elbows and drop it in? How does it feel for you here? You know, you might want to just completely surrender into this. You know, I actually encourage my class, if you don't want to prop and hold through bone, you know, lock the elbows, flip your hands up so you're more or less likely to hold yourself muscularly. So you flip your hands up and just let yourself drop in. Again, the belly, let it go. You know, this lengthening through here, liver meridian, it's beautiful. You know, this again can be a really ignored place of the body, a little bit like, you know, where we're working before. So let yourself just surrender into this. Drop your head. Use your breath a lot to stay into these really challenging poses. You know, come internally, breathe. So fascia is in every part of us. It is just under our skin, and it comes to a level where it's around every cell of our body. Acupuncture works with the very surface layer and the meridians. Yin, we work deeper. We go really deep into the body and ask ourselves to work a lot deeper into these tissues. So hence, you know, it can be challenging, absolutely. But the feeling after a pose of that release and how you feel, oh, it's a little addictive, let me tell you. So sink in and breathe. How does this feel different to the other side? Is there a difference? Are you feeling this? Is the sensation different on this side to the other? Be curious about this beautiful body that you were given in this life. You know, learn the personalities of one side to the other. You know, and Yin takes us deep. Stay there, we've got 30 seconds. Remember, if it gets too painful, come out. Take a break. And when you're ready, come back in. It's okay. This is your practice. And it's about challenging yourself, but not being horrid. Okay? So, you know, be nice to yourself. Let yourself relax into this. You are nearly there, yogis. Gently come up. Let yourself move slowly, come into your rebound. Gently move just any props to the side and let yourself come back down. Slowly and surrender. Come into the breath. Enjoy. Now, sometimes in rebound, I have twitching of muscles or toes or something. Just let that happen. It's a nerve reaction and that sort of thing. And as I said before, fascia, they're actually thinking now that it has as much impact and as our nervous system of being an electric conductor. So just let it happen. Gently bend your knees up and come up. Grab a drink. Okay, so that was our Icky pose today. So let's go into one that's a little bit cooler. Anahata. Now this is around really opening up the heart. It will seem a little familiar to you, but what we're going to use is a little bit more propping to open up. I usually like to use 2 blocks because it gives us a little bit more options. But I think I'll just use the bolster down, but I want to talk to you about this. So I'm going to show you on the side first. So it's a little bit like when we're going to sit up for child pose, big toes together, knees are apart, but we're not going to sit back on our hips, we're going to come up here. And what happens with the block? So imagine I've got 2 blocks. So you're going to get it where it's going to rest just on the forearm, and imagine I've got a block on the other one, and we're going to come through like this. So what we're trying to do here is open up the front of the body. So the thing I like about the blocks is the shoulder blade hitting the back of the ribs. It has compression. And so that's when you have to get really groovy. So I hope I'm not sweating too much here. We get really groovy about where we put this. This is again where you start to know your body really well. If you have quite a big shoulder blade that hits the ribs at the back, you know, you might only be able to take your arm to here. But if you know that and you play with your body and you go, oh, I can only get that, and the option is to drop and go around that obstruction, and then you can get your arm back here. So this is what we need to find with this. I want you to feel the sensation through here and here. There might be compression of the lumbar spine because when we go into this, but if you come into this with the prop under the forearm and you feel it more on your back body than you do on your front body, maybe go a little wider or maybe go a little narrower, okay? So I'm going to show you a little bit. I'm going to block the view a bit, but I'm going to use my bolster. So here, and then I'm behind here, and I'm sort of testing it. Now, I have some people in my class that have their arms here and come back. And as you can see with my movement, oh, this is a killer. It's not good for me. I can't go down. I know I have to get my arms out here somewhere. And I come down here. And now make sure your butt's in the air. So you're going to look like this. Not glamorous, but who cares? So you're up here. Let the belly go. And then let yourself sink into this. I'm going to start the clock. So, Anahata, it's around now working with the upper body and opening up this part of us here and this part of us here, adding compression to the lumbar spine, which is super healthy. You know, it's for this part of the body here and super healthy, that compression. Let the belly go into this pose. Okay, this works the lungs and pericardium meridians. Beautiful, you know, lung meridians up through here. It also works the large intestine meridian too. Okay, so there's some super benefits with this. But what I really like is it tends to open this part of us where, you know, we tend to be a little bit more crowded and stuck with this. So enjoy this pose. You know, child poses are a very surrender pose. This is sort of a little bit like that, where you can just really sink into this. Please make sure the belly is just really super relaxed. You know, and just let that happen. And be curious enough about your body to feel if there's more sensation at the back. Then sort of stay in the pose, but gently sort of investigate if your arms want to come wider. And make sure you're not holding on to the blocks or the bolster or whatever, that you just let your arms rest. Jaw is relaxed. Just let yourself enjoy this pose. So our target area is through here, the upper body and the arms. And I said it's compression to the lumbar spine, but you could be feeling this wherever. So there's no wrong place, you know, it could be feeling it through the inner thighs because you're up on your knees here and you've got them wide and you're letting yourself go back. There's no wrong place to feel this, okay? We're nearly there. Stay with it. And just use your breath. And every breath out, let's surrender a little more. And now, yogis, let yourself come up. Now you might just want to sneak, you know, you push that out of the way and sneak into your rebound. It doesn't matter which way that you look or anything. And just let your body be. So really surrender here. So when we start coming, you know, near the end of our practice, there is such a great connection with ourselves internally that, you know, absolutely just you and your mat. So just enjoy rebound and what it's bringing to you, okay? And really surrendering to the sensations that your body is sharing with you today. And you've actually made the time to listen. So important. Many times when I talk to people and they come to me with injuries, and I have a chat to them about that, and I don't think I've ever got, unless it was a really traumatic injury like car accident or something, most people if it's, you know, sort of some sort of back injury or something, oh yeah, you know, I sort of had a bit of niggling with the body and that sort of thing. And that's the conversation your body's having with you. We don't listen, and it's not happy, it just gets louder. And it will give you an injury. So if we can teach ourselves to listen early and do something about it, hopefully we can keep, you know, injury free. And let yourself come up, yogis, out of this, you know, come and grab a drink. We've got one more pose. Now, this is called twisted root. I was thinking to myself, how on earth am I going to show you how to do this? But, you know, let's give it a go. Beautiful twisting. So I'm going to do it on the side, talk you through it. Maybe watch me first before you go into this. So, you know, you can see what happens. We're going to come laying on our backs and our legs are up here. So I'm going to take my back leg here and I take it under. Now, it's a little bit like eagle pose when you're a standing balance pose. But if you can double hook, beautiful. If you can't, who cares? So the leg that's on the top, you're going to take that bottom foot down. You're going to take this bottom hip and you're going to flip it underneath. So remember when we stacked our hips on our other pose here, when we were opening up here, you need to tuck this right under. So single or double bind, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to let your arms come out. You know, and what, see how I'm sort of lifting this shoulder to come out and then here. Now, don't think that you have to get this knee on the ground, but you're not going to prop it because the weight's going to pull you. Take this back arm out. And you're going to keep the knees bent in. So they look like eagle pose, the bottom half of you. And just let yourself come out. So get yourself into that pose, twisted root. Doesn't matter which side you're actually on, whatever. So again, you know, if you're getting into this here, flip under, single or double, take that toe down, kick your hips underneath you, let that knee fall, take yourself out, maybe bring this shoulder out more and let yourself drop in here. Beautiful. And let's hold. So, twisted root, there's compression of the spine, which, you know, we don't feel it a lot, but it's super good. It's super good, especially for this thoracic spine. This is made to twist this thoracic spine. Lumbar spine, flexion and extension, but this was made to twist, you know, beautiful movement. So let it happen, let it happen. So we're actually lengthening the side body with this one. We're again working into the gallbladder meridian on the side of the body. It's the twisting also is a beautiful massage. It's a compression for the stomach, your internal organs. So depending on what side you are, our large bowel, it has the ascending in large bowel coming up the left side, going round, descending down the right. You know, we're massaging our internal organs, our stomach. It's by adding this compression and twist. And it's super important that we actually do this sort of toning for those internal muscles. It's just beautiful. It helps the liver and spleen and pancreas. You know, it's getting in there nice and deep with you. And all you're doing is just staying still with this one. We're going to hold here for 3 minutes. So stick with me, stay with it, you know, and just let that happen. Let the beautiful things happen. We've got about 1 more minute. Take it under, hold. Now, you know, I always ask my class with this one, you know, you've got the options of putting your arms up higher if you want. You know, we can do this. A lot of the time when I'm in the class, I am actually flipping people so they are stacked here, you know, and actually lifting them and flipping them a little bit more so the hips are really stacked, you know. Yin is a very hands-on class normally, but, you know, I'm hoping you guys are really getting the feeling of this, you know, and see how it feels to, you know, fit beautifully deep with your body like this. Oh, you're nearly there. You're nearly there. Hold on. And I'm hoping because you've held the pose here that you can feel the body releasing, feeling it opening. and just surrendering. And now gently let yourself roll back, untangle the legs, flip the hips underneath you so they're there, and then gently come into your rebound. And enjoy this. You know, this is one of the poses where 9 times out of 10, you can significantly feel the difference from the side you've actually worked with and the side that you haven't. So surrender into that rebound. Let yourself really, really enjoy it and just relax. So keep there. I'm just telling my husband not to come in, sorry. Beautiful. And now gently, you know, again, if movement is talking to you, it might be small. This one, sometimes I see people, they're wanting to hug their knees in just gently. Just do, you know, instinctively, let the body drive you instinctively. And then you might want to drink or not. Let's set up the other side. So this side, you know, whatever side you did, have those legs up, crossed, leg over. And again, if one side you can get a double bind and the other you can't, who cares? So come down, then let the toe go down and then really tuck the hips. So you can see I'm really tucking under to stack. Now take my arms out, take that shoulder, and I just let myself surrender. Beautiful, just let yourself go. So expect the difference from right to left. You know, there's got to be a difference with us because we move ourselves differently. So how does this feel? You know, sometimes one side you can land it and it feels amazing. The other side you feel like awkward Annie. Again, you know, and that's me with my practice, you know, so some things I can land a pose and it feels amazing. Other side, you know, other times on the other side, I struggle to find that place. Exactly in Yin. You know, so let yourself just surrender here. If you have to make little adjustments, just really honor to do that. You know, you might bring that shoulder out, so you might want to scoop it out and let those arms come out here. The head goes wherever you want. Sometimes you might want to turn to the knee side or not, either or. You know, it's a beautiful practice to give you time to experiment with your body here, to really honor, you know, the movement that you've done. So stay with it, stay with it. And now start feeling that your body is surrendering into this. You know, I'm hoping that you can actually feel the body. So starting to let this tissue go. You can feel it sort of stretching and surrendering into this. How does this feel different to your other side? You know, where's the sensation here? So in Yin, you know, we really release and move energy. So the meridians, like the fascia, they form a network and a matrix through the body. They're actually now finding that they can image meridian lines because the science is sort of catching up now, and they can see these lines in the body where fluid moves, and they're seeing the meridian lines. So, you know, working with the meridians and the fascia is so important. Stay with this, yogis. You've got 40 more seconds. Let yourself just really enjoy and surrender into this. You know, it's interesting. I always think it's really quite interesting that only modern science now is catching up with this ancient Eastern wisdom. So, you know, our meridians and our fascia is everywhere, and it's connected internally through us like a three-dimensional spider web. It does send information faster than the nervous system through the body. You know, it's really important that we look after this tissue. So important that we really honor, you know, this tissue inside of ourselves. Okay, yogis, come on out. So let yourself move slowly. You know, you might just untangle the legs first and then bring them back and then tuck your hips under. And just let yourself surrender here into this rebound. So the rebound is the pose that we feel, you know, we have really honored the work that we've done with our bodies. We can feel the energy moving. It's beautiful. And now, I want you to slip as gently as you can into your Shavasana, and you might stay there into that rebound and just stay there. In Victoria, it's getting a little chilly. So if you're in a cooler climate, I really encourage you to pop a blanket on. If you want to put a bolster or anything under your knees, please, please do. Okay, but let yourself now come and sink into your Shavasana. So our yin brings us absolutely through the doorway of our meditation practice. You know, you are there, you were so connected with your body. Let yourself just now surrender completely. So gently come into your Shavasana. And really honor the work that you've done now with your body. You know, make any adjustments to make yourself really comfortable here. And let your shoulders drop. And come back to the breath. It's the breath that we connect so internally with. And as you lay in here and the connection that you've made with your body through this practice, you know, breathe into places of yourself that is talking strongly for you through sensation. You know, if there is a part of you talking to you strongly, on your next inhalation, breathe into that area. Take the breath, take the energy to that area. And then on your exhale, as you just release, let go of any stagnant energy that is not serving you anymore. Just let yourself surrender into this Shavasana. You being the eye of the storm, that no matter what is happening in your world, in your micro world or the macro world of what's happening now, there is a place for you to find a sense of peace, a sense of connection and groundness. Let yourself really enjoy that. Use the breath as the tool to bring energy within. And use the exhalation as the tool of surrender, of softening, of letting go. And now, yogis, as you lay there, let yourself just gently come back to this external world. Maybe fingers and toes again. Maybe a deeper breath, and then gently hug your knees in and gently let yourself come up, gently into any position that suits you today. Take your time. Let yourself remain with this beautiful internal connection that you've made with yourself. And then when you find whatever position that serves you, gently bring your hands together in your prayer mudra, your thumbs to heart. And from my heart to yours, thank you so much for joining me in this practice. Namaste.
Namaste.
Now, Leanne, I have to let you know that music was from Eon Finn, one of his mixes, and that's where Leanne and I first met in our 200 hours original training with Eon Flynn from Blissology. Yeah. And he has a couple of soundtracks out there that are just gorgeous, and that was one of them.
Thank you very much, Jill. Oh, that was so beautiful. I really enjoyed it. I rarely do yin. I only, when I come home, I try to jump into some classes and some studios, and yeah, that was just so special today. Yeah, your icky pose was a bit icky, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
There's always got to be some ickies.
How did you get? Anyway, the other side was better. I sort of got myself into it a bit, a lot better. But yeah, really juicy.
Beautiful. And look, if anyone has any questions, please, put them online. Leanne will let me know and that sort of thing. Be curious, be curious about your practice, about your body. It's the best toy that you've been given is your body, and you really need to enjoy it and play with it and just have fun.
I think I'm going to nickname you Dr. Jill too. I was having a little giggle. I'm like, oh, I think she's just sucked all that info up and she's spitting it all out. It was bringing me all the way back to our training. Again, Ian with the fascia, and yeah, it's so nice. It's nice. I love having you guys as guests and great friends to share your other versions of yoga. Because, me teaching a lot of beginners as well, I tend to keep it more simplistic, and I try not to throw too much Sanskrit and information in. But what I am enjoying with the challenge is that I'm keeping it simple, and then we're bringing you into giving everyone that little bit more juicy knowledge and more information about what's actually going on with the meridians and the fascia. And yeah, so thank you, Jill.
Thank you for inviting me, Leanne. It's been absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much. And thank you, yogis, for doing it with us. It's been fun.
Yeah, and Jill's going to be back for our final class. We have something special for you guys for the last day as well. So namaste, Jill.
Namaste. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.